Life at 26 for Charlotte felt like a comfortable pause button. Unlike her brother Sawyer, the golden boy with his sports trophies and endless friends, Charlotte navigated a different path. High school hadn't been her jam, so she opted out, leaving her with a middle school diploma and a string of part-time gigs. Living with her parents, she mostly kept to herself, a quiet counterpoint to Sawyer's outgoing persona. He was the one nobody ever suspected had a sister like her, the one who conveniently forgot her existence around his friends. Sawyer's college departure had been a quiet relief, a release from the constant unspoken tension. Now, whispers of his upcoming wedding filled the air. At 29, it wasn't exactly a surprise. The plan, fiancé meet-up at the parents' place. Charlotte, drawn by a flicker of hope for family connection, decided to join in. "Hey guys, I'm back," she announced, entering the living room. Sawyer, arriving with his fiancée, looked briefly startled. "Sorry to interrupt," his fiancée chirped, seemingly oblivious to the awkwardness. Then her eyes met Charlotte's. "Wait, who?" Confusion clouded her gaze. It was clear. The question hung unspoken. Who is this? Had Sawyer kept her a secret? Introductions were swift, painfully one-sided. "Mom, Dad, this is Sawyer's fiancé," followed by a polite bow from the woman. Her puzzlement remained. Charlotte's father, ever the silent observer, offered no clarification. This wasn't new. Her parents, accustomed to praising Sawyer's achievements while comparing her to a money-sucking leech, had perfected the art of selective family acknowledgement. "More drinks," her mother chimed in, already rising. As she leaned closer, her voice barely a whisper. "Why are you here? Go back to your room." Charlotte's heart sank. This attempt at connection had gone spectacularly wrong, but leaving felt like surrender. So she stayed, a silent observer in her own family drama. Isabella, Sawyer's fiancée, entered the room like a breath of fresh air. At 26, she exuded an aura of poised beauty that made casual conversation feel like an intrusion. My brother, clearly not thrilled with my presence, mumbled introductions to our parents, keeping his distance from me. I felt like a ghost haunting the edges of their happy reunion. As the wedding talk subsided, casual chatter filled the room, but Sawyer remained my personal black hole. Then, a question pierced the air. "So, Charlotte, what do you do?" Before I could even begin, my brother's words cut me off. "Wait, Isabella, you don't need to talk to her," he said, his tone laced with annoyance. Isabella blinked, clearly surprised. My mother, ever the master of minimizing my existence, chimed in, "Right, don't worry about it, dear." My father, the final blow, added, "She's just a distant relative, really." Something inside me snapped. Distant relative, reconciliation. It seemed like a lost cause from the beginning. The meeting ended with me feeling like a forgotten footnote, my presence irrelevant. Soon after, my brother and Isabella were married, their new life a gleaming picture of success. He, a rising star at a prestigious company, and she, a poised homemaker in their newly built haven. As their housewarming invitation arrived, a limited gathering for elite guests, my mother's anxiety skyrocketed. "Oh, already finished. Time flies. What should we get them?" she fretted. My father, ever the pragmatist, dismissively flipped the invitation. "Family, no need for anything fancy." My eyes caught the detail that sent a chill down my spine. Only my parents' names were listed. My mother, seemingly oblivious, asked, "Charlotte's coming too, right?" The question hung heavy, a stark reminder of their earlier cruelty. "It's fine if I'm not invited," I offered, my voice barely a whisper. But my mother, determined to maintain appearances, insisted, "No, you're coming. We'll make arrangements." And so, I found myself at the party, rain lashing down outside. As we arrived, my parents, umbrella-less, scurried towards the entrance, leaving me to foot the taxi bill. "Ah, so that's why," I thought, realizing the unspoken message. My presence was tolerated, but not valued enough to warrant shelter. Reaching the entrance, Breathless from the rain, I was met with Isabella's confused question, "Who are you?" Had she forgotten me already? "I'm Charlotte," I replied, forcing a smile. "Sawyer's sister." A chilling smile spread across Isabella's face. "Ah, the high school dropout, Nate," she said, her voice dripping with condescension. "We didn't invite the parasite leeching off his parents." My brother, returning from greeting guests, materialized beside her. "Huh, why are you here?" His disdain was palpable. "I told you not to invite her. Why is she here?" "Well, I don't know either," my brother mumbled, clearly not pleased with my presence. Isabella's casual cruelty was a revelation. My brother's indifference, predictable. But this woman, with her honeyed smile and venomous words, surpassed them both. Was it a mistake to come? I asked my brother cautiously. "Yeah, you're pretty much a stranger," he scoffed, "especially with your low education. High school dropout doesn't even count as an education, does it?" Isabella chimed in, her voice deceptively calm. "Could you please leave the property quickly?" Her smile never faltered, making it all the more terrifying. Defeated, I turned on my heel. The taxi was gone, and the rain lashed down mercilessly. Trapped on a deserted street, I trudged home, drenched and humiliated. Laughter, Isabella's, echoed in my ears like a cruel taunt. My parents, oblivious to my ordeal, returned with smiles plastered on their faces. "Why did you leave so abruptly? Couldn't even call a taxi." "You're so useless," my mother sighed, as if stating an undeniable fact. "Stomachache." I lied, the only explanation I could muster. "For that, you couldn't even stay for a party." "Hopeless," my father sighed. "Remember to give them the gift later. You're an adult after all." The gift, carefully chosen, lay forgotten in my room. I wanted to send it, but their address remained a mystery. Asking my parents felt impossible, the air thick with tension. My only hope was my brother. "Hey, can you give me the address so I can send a gift?" I texted, a flicker of hope flickering in my chest. His reply was swift and brutal. "I don't give my address to strangers, right?" The final blow, delivered with a cold, digital smirk. In that moment, I was truly alone, adrift in a sea of indifference and cruelty. A heady sigh escaped my lips. Was their private amusement at my expense not enough? Did they truly need to flaunt their cruelty in front of others? The realization sank in. My brother's disdain might not be the only source of these messages. Perhaps Isabella's fingers, too, danced across the keyboard, composing venomous barbs with a side of laughter. The absurdity of it all was enough. I abandoned the gift, its intended meaning lost in the toxic air. Leaving was the only option. My meager savings from part-time jobs became my lifeline, securing a tiny apartment for a life of solitude. It wasn't much, but it was mine, free from the constant barrage of criticism. To make ends meet, I turned a hobby into a hustle streaming video games. My keen eye for trends and knack for audience engagement propelled my channel, soon raking in tens of thousands a month. More than enough to survive, it allowed me to invest in myself. Those investments blossomed, and I ventured into a small import business, my days filled with purpose and satisfaction. No family to nag about my excessive screen time, just the quiet hum of success. Then, after months of silence, my phone buzzed with an unexpected call. My parents. "We need your help with Sawyer," they pleaded. My brow furrowed. Why? Didn't he just build a new house? Their story unfolded, a tale of extravagant parties, influential guests, and a tempting proposition. Someone, an acquaintance of Isabella's, had whisked my brother away with the promise of quick riches. Blinded by avarice, he'd sunk a significant chunk of money into a dubious investment. My jaw clenched. With a stable job, this shouldn't have happened. Who recommended this? Is it a scam? I demanded, suspicion gnawing at me. "Oh no, dear. It's a legitimate opportunity," my mother insisted, her blind faith in Isabella echoing in her voice. "How much do you need?" she asked, the sum staggering for any average employee. My heart hammered against my ribs. Is this the entire amount he lost? I choked out, already knowing the answer my parents would give. A cold dread washed over me. What if we all fell victim to the same scam? My parents' hesitation confirmed my fear. I can't afford that kind of money. I started, my voice firm, before they could launch into their sob-story. Sorry, but I'm swamped, and we're essentially strangers, remember? Click. End call. Little did I know, news travels fast, even to estranged families. Soon, they materialized. My pregnant sister-in-law, the ever-smug brother, and my parents, right in the heart of my company, disrupting a crucial business meeting. Guests for you, President, my secretary announced, her voice laced with confusion. No appointments scheduled. Who are they? They claim to be your family, ma'am. A shiver ran down my spine. Excusing myself, I headed to the reception area, bracing myself for the inevitable confrontation. There they stood, a motley crew of entitlement, Isabella, radiating disdain, my brother radiating arrogance, and my parents clinging to the remnants of hope. Running a company. Quaint, my brother smirked, scanning the office with condescension. Who are you again? Playing their game, I feigned ignorance. What's the meaning of this? His facade crumbled. Don't play dumb. We need your help. You're a company president, after all. My mother chimed in, her voice dripping with expectation. The audacity of it all, demanding money like it was their birthright. It's a critical time for the family, my father croaked, Isabella adding her 2 cents as if my wallet magically refilled itself at their command. Their pleas fell on deaf ears, however. My employees, witnesses to this unfolding drama, shot concerned glances our way. This disruption needs to stop. Please leave, I stated, my voice calm but firm. My brother's anger flared. A disruption? We come begging, and this is how you treat your own flesh and blood. His outburst drew curious stares from passing employees. Shamefaced, my parents tried to calm him down, but the damage was done. Desperation clouded his judgment. Everyone knows you're a dropout, a shut-in. He spat, hoping humiliation would sway me. Little did he know, my employees had a different story to tell. We know, one spoke up, his voice steady. Everyone knows. The president's background, just like mine. She gives opportunities to people like us. Is there a problem? My brother, the consummate socialite accustomed to high-powered circles, sputtered, his carefully crafted facade crumbling. Seeing his flustered state, my father chimed in, his voice laced with disdain. Pathetic company, full of ne'er-do-wells. My brother, emboldened, echoed his sentiment, his voice booming through the reception area. Exactly. Any company doing business with such a place must be as bad. At that precise moment, the president of the company I was meeting with emerged from the waiting room, drawn by the commotion. The color drained from my brother's face as he recognized the man, his gaze dropping like a stone. What's wrong, Sawyer? Isabella's concerned whisper went unanswered, drowned out by the president's jovial greeting. Sawyer, what a surprise. Mr. Long, division manager, always a pleasure, the president boomed, a wide smile crinkling his eyes. We owe your company a great deal, he added, revealing their business connection. Sweat now beaded on my brother's forehead. Yes, of course, my brother stammered, fumbling for words. We're not exactly a decent company, are we? His attempt to deflect backfired spectacularly, the president echoing his own words with mocking amusement. Oh. The air crackled with tension. My parents and Isabella exchanged nervous glances, their pleas abruptly silenced. Ignoring them, I apologized profusely to the president. Please accept my apologies for this disruption. I'll have them escorted out immediately. No need for haste, the president waved dismissively. I have the time. Your family matters more. They're not my family, I corrected gently, my gaze sweeping across their stunned faces. Strangers, at best. With that, my unwanted visitors were ushered out, their initial bluster replaced by a stunned silence. Later, fueled by curiosity about how my work life became public knowledge, I discovered the culprit, Isabella. She had a well-connected friend with a keen eye for financial scoops, and the news of a young, successful female trader and company owner caught their attention. A photo in the media confirmed the woman's identity, my estranged, middle school dropout sister. Isabella, seeing an opportunity, relayed the information to my family, planting the seed of greed that culminated in their unwelcome visit. Ignoring them became my response. No answering calls, no returning messages, no acknowledging their presence at my company. I cut them off completely, yet curiosity flickered. Isabella's friend, who fueled their financial downfall, piqued my interest. Turns out he was her ex-boyfriend, and their friendship seemed suspiciously intimate. And then the bombshell. The child Isabella carried wasn't my brother's, but that investor's. Devastated, wouldn't even begin to describe my brother's state. A web of lies, money siphoned from multiple men under her ex's guidance. The truth unraveled, leading to divorce and police custody for both Isabella and her accomplice. The lost money remained lost, a bitter reminder. The fallout extended beyond them. My brother, his career on a downward spiral, found himself demoted to a window-side position before resorting to resignation. The financial strain, coupled with the public shame, proved too much. My father, witnessed by the company president berating a subcontractor, soon learned the meaning of unemployment. His discriminatory rants, echoing the taunts he once hurled at me, cost him his job. Reduced circumstances drove my former family to plead for cohabitation. Banned from my company, they resorted to emotional appeals, invoking the family card. The trio, now unemployed, clung to me with desperate tactics, but my answer remained unwavering. Strangers, complete strangers, no further explanation, no room for negotiation. This was my closure, my line in the sand. This rephrased version condenses the information while emphasizing the character's emotional journey and resolve. It highlights the consequences for each family member, adding a sense of justice served. The ending leaves the reader pondering the character's future and the impact of their decision. I hope you guys enjoy our video. To watch more interesting stories, hit that subscribe button. Thank you.